So what's up, guys? Welcome to part 7 on the build for Big Red, the 99 F450 with the 7.3. She's coming along pretty good. We've almost got all wrapped up. The last thing to do is the dash. So right now in this video, what we're going to cover is the cluster helper. The next video, we're going to do the vent helper, and the last video is going to be slapping in the dash, and we're going to take her for a drive. So we still got 3 parts to cover right now. So if you go ahead and order the cluster helper, this is basically, I'm not going to show you all the details. I'm just going to show you how I install it and all the steps you got to take. If you're wondering where to buy this bad boy, there you go, swaphelper.com. okay, and this one's for 99 to 01s, and it does 08 to 16 clusters. So this bad boy does everything. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the steps. You know, make sure you read all the instructions. Make sure, if you just watch this whole video, and you're gonna know all the ins and outs. Okay, so I recommend watching this whole video before you buy anything. So with this truck being a diesel, one extra thing I get is the boost sensor, because the diesel gauges have a turbo gauge right there, but I just realized this is a gas cluster, so it's an oil pressure gauge. So we're gonna run this cluster for right now, and then we're gonna track down a diesel one, because he's also missing the gun safe under the back seat. So there's 2 more things we gotta track down. No problem though. But if you get the boost gauge, I get this little air intake heater delete off Amazon. So if you go on Amazon, you put in 7.3 air intake heater delete, you'll get this plug. I think it was like 14 bucks. You're gonna need that because we're gonna be able to mount it in the intake, and then our boost gauge is gonna go in there. So I'm gonna show you that later too. And then another thing I get is a fat plug, so we can run all the wires that go from here, from the dash, and they need to go into the engine bay. So I like to have my plugs, because you know I like to bring my dash in and make it plug and play. So I don't want us to, you know, have wires that go from the dash straight to the engine bay. I want one plug so we can unplug the dash and it come out as one piece. So other than that, go ahead and, you know, get some popcorn, take a seat. This video might be a little long. You know, go ahead and crack a cold one and sit back, because I actually ain't doing shit either. All right, guys, so the first step, what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna mount the cluster helper to the cluster. Okay, so with an 08 to 10, it's the same bolt pattern. You're just gonna remove these 2 top bolts or screws, and then the cluster helper is gonna sit right in place and bolt in. If you have an 11 to 16, there's a little bracket that sits along there and basically replicates this bolt pattern for you. You know, I think you can figure, oh shit, big old butterfly. So boom, I already pulled the screws out, save you some time. And then I've got this little thing. I recommend just doing this by hand. Hold on one second. There's one. There's the second one. Voila. All right, the next one's gonna be is putting this in. So this is an 08 to 10 cluster, so we're gonna use this port, not this one. There you go. See, that's boom. Can't mess that up. So, all right, we're gonna plug in the ribbon. Make sure the red stripe right here is pointed towards the cluster helper. Okay, guys. All right, and then just work your way in there. It should find the pins. Give her some nice push down, and that's it. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take this. So there's a little tab right there, and that tab's gonna line up with that little gap right there. Boom. Give her a nice little fold down, and voila, that's it. So boom, we're not gonna need this till we finally go put it in the dash, and the dash is done. So we can set that to the side. The next step, you know, go ahead and read your instructions. You know, tell you everything it's supposed to come with, and tell you what you're supposed to do, and all the good stuff. Okay, remember, disconnect your batteries. Okay, I already did it when we moved to the dash, so they better still be disconnected. All right, and then just go through all your steps. A handful of these are gonna go under the truck. It tells you where the transmission temp is. Usually when I put that in, I put this little sensor in, you know, I do it real quick. You know, I only use a couple drops of training fluid. I never really had it come oozing out, so it's never really been an issue. And then it tells you how to solder and stuff. Okay, I mean, that's not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but basically, yeah, you strip them, you twist them, you solder them, you shrink it. And he gave you a bunch of heat shrinks, and I think they're really good. So make sure you don't use no butt connectors. Oh, I swear to baby Jesus. And boom, this is gonna be your legend. This is gonna be the cream of the crop, what you gotta go through, okay? So basically, just start from the top and work your way down. It gives you a bunch of stickers. And with these stickers, you're gonna go through. And then what I want you to do is just put them on each wire. You know, go ahead and get this tape off. But those stickers, you're gonna label each wire. So after you've labeled every single wire, then it's just gonna be a cut and splice and match your sticker to your sticker. So let me go ahead and do that step. Let me go ahead and go through each wire and show you what it looks like when it's done. Because you don't wanna cut these off and start getting them mixed up. So before you do anything, just peel this tape off and lay your stickers down. Okay guys, check it out. So I got all my stickers on the cluster wires. I just went by each wire. And so now what I'm doing is I'm double checking all my stuff because I did get some of them mixed up, I'm not gonna lie. Like right here I have two, let me get it out of the way. I have two red whites. And I don't know which one was which, you know? And then I'm trying to figure out the 4 low because there's technically 2 4 lows. There's an indicator and an indicator, low range, and then one's 4x4. So I don't know, it's really weird. So what I'm gonna do now is just go by each plug. So this is in the instructions, this paper. This page is gonna be important, so make sure you flip to it. It'll tell you all the pin out to each wire. So what I'm gonna do is just go down each wire and every wire that I have. So let's say, let's pick one. So let's go to pin 3, light blue black voltmeter. And then see how there's a gap in that little star and it says white red voltmeter. So that means pin 3. So that's why there was, I bet in 2000 Ford was like, bro, stop using the same color, switch it up. So then this 99 has 2 of the same colors, but we're gonna go off pin 3 and red black, and it's gonna be for the voltmeter. So if you count 1 cavity, there's a blank one, and then 3. So that means that this is pin 3, and it should be my voltmeter sticker. Oh, cool, it is. So now that I know that one's correct, I'm gonna snip it from the plug, and boom. And then watch, we'll do one more. So let's say, let's do fuel level. Yellow, white is the fuel level, and what pin is that? Pin 10? So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10's right after that jump. And we're looking for what? Yellow, white. So that means this sticker better say fuel. Yep, okay, so I know I got that one right. So I'll snip that one. If I can do it. And boom. And so I'm just gonna shoot down the list, double check my pins to my stickers, and so I know I ain't getting them backwards, because some of these do look a lot alike. You know, some of these, like this one is black yellow, but then this one is brown yellow. So I mean, just double check your plugs, double check your pins. Can't stress that enough. You don't want to get something backwards. I've done it before. Ask me how I know. So the more you know. And then for the stickers that I didn't use, I didn't use the center ones. These are for the 11 to 16 cluster, so you can control the screen. We're not going to use the boost gauge ones because those are just going to the engine bay. Same thing for these are going to the trans, and then this one doesn't have a pat system, so we're not going to use that. So you're not going to use all your stickers, so the ones I'm not going to use, I'm just going to toss them. So all right, so let me go ahead and trim these, and then I'll show you the next step on cutting and splicing. So gang. Okay guys, so I got them all labeled, I double checked them, we're all good, and so now I'm gonna start cutting and splicing the new cluster helper pigtail on. It looks pretty intimidating, but just go wire by wire. One thing, a good tip and trick I do is I put a zip tie on both sides, because these wires are gonna want to come out. But then if you got a zip tie on there, you know, it's not gonna come untangled, and keeps your harness organized, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go wire by wire. I'll probably pop a zip tie right there like a ponytail and just go wire by wire. and do the same thing over here. I would say, oh man, what are the chances to get looped up in there? You don't need this thing to be 3 feet long. You know, I think, 18 inches would be adequate. What I'd like is, because if you bring these cluster wires through here, like, look how long they are. They already almost touch the steering wheel. So if those are touching the steering wheel, I mean, you don't need this cluster pigtail to be reaching the front seat. So you can trim it, I think coming to the length of maybe right there, maybe a little past the steering wheel would be more than enough. So look at that. I mean, we can probably lose, at least 8 to 10 inches off both sides. So just keep that in mind. I think if you want to gauge it from the front of the steering wheel to there, that's a perfect length. So other than that, I'm just gonna get busy, start cutting and splicing. I'm just gonna literally just shoot down this list. That's all I'm gonna do. So, and then I've got this side by side so I can double check everything. So just double check, I can't stress that enough. You don't want to mess nothing up. So all right, let me get crack-a-lacking and you're gonna see a beautiful pigtail. Good morning, guys. All right, so I got the cluster helper pigtail wired up. There was a couple wires I didn't use, and that's for the 6-7 cluster, and we don't need them for the info center. Got it all soldered and heat shrinked coming through here, and then these are going to be the ones that go through the engine bay. And so what I'm going to do is tie them with my pink and snip them right there, and then use one of my plugs, and we're gonna go ahead and feed the other end of this into the engine bay. So that's gonna be the next step. But I'm gonna go ahead and basically I can finish this harness up now. So I'm gonna run my zip ties, put that under that zip tie, under that zip tie, and then make my plug. And then I'm gonna throw some tape on here, make it look pretty. So I'd say the only thing special that, or anything you'd have to do here is this white light green used to run to this, but now this one only has 2 wires, so it leaves you with the extra one, and it shoots into the cluster to tell you your tow haul is on the cluster now instead of here. And then this truck had this gray orange, which is your like low fuel indicator, and they only did this on 99s. And then they were like, yo, why are we even running this when the fuel level can just tell the cluster to turn it on? So this is one wire we're not going to be using. So what I'm going to do is just snip it and cap it off. Other than that, and not using the 6-7 wires, is pretty much it. So let me get crack-a-lacking. Let me tape this up, man. Let me make this look pretty, so then we'll be 100% done with the electrical on this dash. So stay tuned for the truck side. Bing, bing. Okay, guys, got her all done. The dash is 100% wired up. All we have left to do is run this plug through the engine harness, or that's what I'm calling this one the engine body plug thingy, whatever. It's a body plug going into the engine harness. So we got our cluster helper ready to be plug and play. So we got that done, columns done, everything's done. I put some plastic loom around this and taped it up, so in case she wants to chafe anywhere, we're good. Harness is mounted. Other than that, I think we're ready to rock and roll. So basically, we're gonna take this plug, and this plug is gonna run through the floor. So I'll show you. Because I would like to be able to take that dash after we build it. Ooh, it is hot in here. Oh my God. Gotta be over 100 degrees in this thing. Whew. I'm gonna have to open some windows, but all right. So basically I want this plug just chilling right here. So when we put the dash in, we can just plug her in. I'm gonna feed her through that hole. And then I braided my wires, so boom, I can already tell this one's for the turbo, this one's for the PCM, and this one's for the trans temp and my backup wires. So heck yeah. So all right, let me start feeding them through, and I'll show you how to hook these bad boys up. But the first step, what we're gonna do is pop the hood. Actually, I'm gonna hook up some power and roll down these windows, because it's hot in there. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is do the air intake heater delete thingy-majig, this bad boy. So this will probably be the first step I'm actually gonna do. So that thing right there, there's a little coil inside, and it heats up, to try to heat up the air coming in on a cold start. But it being the middle of winter, and it's like 100 degrees right now, you don't really need that. Honestly, you don't really need it at all. I took it out of my truck a long time ago. So we're gonna pull that plug out, put this bad boy in there. We're gonna get rid of all the wiring too, which I think is one of these cables. So let me go ahead and grab my tools and I'll show you how to put this bad boy in, and then we can put the turbo sensor in too. So okay guys, so the first thing you're gonna want to undo this nut, because we need to get rid of this wire, basically deleting the air intake here. So a little 13 minute, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, don't drop your shit. Like, come on, there you go. Put this back on, and then put your nut back on, but I dropped it. I'm gonna have to get that after I stop recording. And then go ahead and get a 10 mil. And then voila, drop that nut too. On a roll. So basically you're just deleting that wire, and then go ahead and get a big ass socket and undo that. So once you do that, you just screw in your new intake here. Where did I do? Right here. Then you just screw this bad boy in. So it's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. So let me go ahead and get that one out and get this one in. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. So we got the boost gauge in. So the next one we're gonna put in is the trans temp sensor. It's a 12 mil. And then we're gonna remove the bolt up here that it's gonna take it. So if you unplug this and you can tuck it out of the way, you can easily see the bolt. I think it's an 11. Alright, she's out. 1, 2, 3, go. And see, we're losing a little fluid. Oh god, that fluid looks gross. This thing, oh my god, when's the last time this train fluid ever been changed? That shit, what? That shit looks like engine oil. So, and then just go ahead and grab you a 12 mil, but now my hands are covered in oil. But at least she's not leaking. So, voila, it's in there. Hold on. I'll give her a little ugga chug, and she'll be in there. Good enough. All right, so boom, there we go. So now we can start running my wires and stuff. So let me go ahead and start that. So the white one's for the trans temp. I'm gonna run it on the inside of the chassis, run it up to here, and then have it jump over here to that bad boy. So yeah, and then what's up, Axel? So you can see we got my boost wire loom up there. Gosh, this thing would focus. There you go. You can see I've got my air intake heater delete and the boost gauge ready to go. So all I need to do is I'm gonna solder the end on there, the pigtail. Oh shoot, it's in there. But you get the point. So let me go ahead and do the boost sensor. Let me do the trans sensor and the reverse wire, and I'm gonna show you how to do the PCM next. Okay. So all right, let me get crack-a-lackin'. Right, Axel? Okay guys, check it out. So we got our boost sensor in right there. I just ran it up through the engine harness there. I bet if you scroll back in the video, this engine harness wasn't even sitting in the slot. It was just dangling and zip tied up. So I pulled off this plastic piece and just tuck tape all the way down through it to put it back where it's supposed to be. So boost gauge is good to go. Crawl up under the truck. Show you what we got going on. So we got the transmission sensor going there. And then I put the new shift cable in there for the new column up in there too. So everything on this side's good to go. What else? Oh, the backup wire. Yeah, I just tapped it right in the chassis. And so now all we have to do is the last 4 wires of the cluster helper. These Johnnies right here. So these are for this will do the park, reverse, neutral drive signals. And they're gonna tap into the PCM plug, which is this one. And now I just took the cover off. So you just, if you push these tabs in, it'll come out. And then it's these 4 right here. This is what you're gonna be messing with, okay? So you got TR 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these are the colors that are on the PCM, and these are the color of the wires. And if you're wondering, if you look at this page, this is what we're messing with right here. So these are the old wires, and these are the wires we're splicing to. So white, black is gonna get tan. So perfect example, there's white, black, and there's our tan guy. So boom, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So how to tell which one is which, because there is a lot of same colors in here. if you go by the pins, so I circled them here. So let's say we start with 17. If you look, there's 1, 13, 14. So that blue one's 14, red 15, 16, 17. That yellow one, what color is that? Yellow black. So that should be yellow black. Yep, boom, yellow black, pin 17. So that one I know gets purple. And then right here, these two right here are side by side. You got 49 and 50. So those would be pretty good. What I did was I just went right there. Let me see if you see it says 52. So I just counted backwards, and there they are. There's the light blue black, and then the white black, and I just pulled them up here. So I already pulled them out and found them just to save y'all some time. And now this one's kind of the hard one to find. This is pin 64, light blue, yellow, pin 64. That one's kind of hard. So what I did was I started with 53 and just counted each slot till I got to 64, and there she was. So boom, I have access to all 4 of them. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just put my the T-taps that were supplied with it, and then we're just gonna bada bing, bada boom it, and then I'm gonna put the cover back on, and then put it all back in. So I also did unbolt the IDM just so I can get a little more play here. Just makes life a little more easier. So, and then if you can, you know, clean the wires. I bet your wires are dirty. You know, I wiped these ones down. So let me go ahead and get these T-tapped, and then yeah, I think the cluster hub will be all ready to go. So that might conclude this video. So let me get this done. I'll show you. Okay guys, got it back in there. I got the IDM bolted back in. We got the PCM bolted back in with the cover back on. And I got my little wires coming over here. Don't put the fender well back on, leave it all naked. The fender well is gonna be literally the last thing that goes back in on this whole dash swap. So we got the trans ones going. You got your reverse trans temp. That's the range sensor wires. Boost gauge good to go. We got it feeding through the firewall right there. It's my nice new little engine harness plug. So heck yeah. Whew. Not gonna lie, it's a lot of work, boys. So and then we got the new shift cable ready to go. So other than that, I think we're gonna start working on the vent kit. So whew, not gonna lie, boys, it's a lot of work. So kicking butt on this. So she's pretty much good to go. Other than that, we're gonna start on the vent helper kit. So if you want to see the cluster helper going, the next part's gonna be the vent helper, and then that's gonna include, I think, part 8 and part 9 and 10. I want to say is part 9. I want to put the dash in. Part 10, we're gonna take this sucker for a test drive and do a full walk around and a full display of this beauty. So stay tuned. See y'all later. I'm taking a break.